Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Janelle, and I wanted to talk about something that I feel is a very important subject in the society that we are currently in, and the Great Resignation. Um, Being an '80s baby and '90s kid, and growing up in the early 2000s, late '90s, I want to say mid 2000s, being in that time in my 20s. Life was very different. Cell phones was really still developing. The internet, it was around, but it wasn't as developed as it is today to have all the access to things that we have access to in this current generation as millennials, and for the younger generation, which is Generation X, I think it is, Generation Z. It's one of the two. Hear me out. But when COVID happened last year, it was really terrifying for all of us because life had just completely stopped. And you really are trying to figure out how to put the pieces back together now that we are trying to get back on schedule. Well, I think it kind of lit a fire under people who have been at these corporate jobs for so many years, slaving, being underpaid, giving all of their time and energy to departments that they feel don't appreciate them. And watching people get promoted for things that you know that you have the qualification to get promoted for, but they still look over you. Not raising minimum wage, people still working for $9 an hour when rent in this current generation is through the roof. How are you able to afford $1,500 a month making $10 an hour when I'm sure in today's market, especially with how transportation is, depending on the city you live in, you probably have a car note, insurance, single women out there who have children. It's hard. And I think that people started thinking, like they don't want to go back into the workplace. Who wants to go back into a situation where they're risking their health? People don't believe in vaccinations, which that's a whole nother topic, and we'll get on that later. But people are not taking care of themselves properly with COVID. You got people out here who have their own belief system about it and exposing others to it. So with that being said, it's a lot of dangers and it's a lot of risk out here. And I think, the government expects people after unemployment has ended to just get back out into the workforce and act like their life wasn't stripped away from them due to the fact that they did receive unemployment. Now that this unemployment has been cut off, people have gotten a taste of freedom, of being able to finally know what happiness feels like, not being in a situation where you're being micromanaged, mistreated, underpaid, and easily dismissed or looked at as another number in the corporate world. And with that being said, it leads to today where a lot of employers and the economy is at a place where now it needs employers. Before it was unemployment. People are not able to find, a job. They're struggling, right? Now the market has shifted, and it's due to where our current social life and our current economic situation lies in today's generation, leading up to what we have grown from. We have grown from being enslaved. We have grown from going to the job, putting in a paper application, waiting to be called for an interview, waiting if you even did well in the interview to see what the next step is, waiting. While you're waiting, the bills are piling up. You're waiting to see if you can even afford rent for the month. All of these different responsibilities. Then you still have to start the job. You still got to go to orientation. So with that being said, I feel people there's freedom out here, freedom to progress, but also know the meaning of what happiness is for your life without anybody else controlling that for you, right? You know, the gig economy has changed the whole dynamic of what it means to actually get out here and do something different with your life as opposed to clocking into someone's clock. Social media has turned upside down what used to be this process of going to school and getting a business degree to, have a, business, become an entrepreneur. Now you can build a platform on social media and you can become your own entrepreneur. Whatever vision that you have for yourself, the market is out here available for all of us to be able to take advantage of the current state of where life is today versus where we came from. And people are doing that. To speak about me personally, I have decided to go back to school to finish my bachelor's degree. I may actually get my associate's in nursing, but I'll see what happens as this journey goes along. Because a lot of these employers, they give you false hope. They make you feel like they really value your work ethic, but at the same time, they just easily dismiss you if something goes wrong. They don't really give you a level of appreciation for what you have put into the company because they could just easily just dismiss you and go find somebody else for the position that they dismissed you from. Forget about the time spent, forget about the energy, forget about the skill set, forget about what you have brought to the company. They look at you as another number, as another entity. And I think that's what people are tired of. For me, I'm tired of it. I worked in healthcare for many years, working under certain branches of, the title of wherever you are in the healthcare field. There are levels to where you work at. There's a ladder to climb. You have the doctor, then you have the nurse practitioner, then you have the nurse, and then you have people who are assisting all of these other healthcare professionals. And a lot of times they get, excuse my language when I say this, they get the shitty end of the stick. We get the shitty end of the stick. We're the lowest paid with a lot of times the most physical responsibility. And when you work in the hospital field, you are pretty much everything is thrown at you. You really don't feel valued. You feel devalued and you feel as if you're looked down upon for what you're doing, even though you're the most needed in the hospital. You are the one who is catering to the needs of the patient. You are the one running back and forth like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to figure out what to do next for the next patient. You got 15, 16, 17, 18, sometimes 19 patients if it's short on a unit that you are responsible for along with the nurses. And they're all counting on you to basically break your back, leave exhausted, tired, and for what? $14 an hour? For a job that you really should be getting paid $18, $20 an hour for. And I think that people are at their wits' end. Nobody wants to feel like they're working their life away and there is no reward, right? And even going to other jobs, working in hospitality where you work in the restaurant industry and you're a server and you're giving the best service, you're giving your personality, you are making sure that these guests are happy and they're leaving with a smile on their face. You're coming into work every day on time. A lot of times you don't get the tips you deserve. You're getting paid $2.13 an hour to basically sometimes leave a shift that you've worked 7 hours for with barely $100 in your pocket. So working in a hotel industry, you are working under people who are a lot of times inexperienced and they don't have the passion for what they're doing anymore because they're exhausted and drained and burnt out as well. and you're getting paid what, $12 an hour to work the front desk. When you do the math, this is not enough to survive and make ends meet. And this is where we come to the current day of life in this generation where people say, I quit. I am not about to feel like who my purpose, my life represents is just clocking into someone else's clock to make them rich, and I am not living my best potential life for myself. This is where we are today. I don't feel people are even going to turn back at this point. It's going a whole different direction. And now a lot of these jobs, if you think about it, right? They want to offer $15 an hour. Well, when we were having the debate about raising the minimum wage, right? A lot of these franchises like McDonald's and Burger King and the grocery stores, oh, we can't do that. We can't pay $15 an hour because that's going to take away from the money that we have as companies. We can't afford to pay this. That's too much money. I mean, small businesses, you can't afford to pay. This is too much money. Well, okay, now you got McDonald's saying, we will pay you $1,000 sign-on bonus and $15 an hour just to come work. They're not even interviewing anymore. As soon as you come in, you fill out your application, when do you want to start? They have stopped doing drug tests. Companies are not even wanting to do drug tests anymore because this is how bad everything has gotten with today's workforce. People are tired of corporate America. People want results. You go to college, get a 4-year degree, and you can't even get a job in a field that you have studied for to have a passion to do. They want you to go through loopholes and get more in student loan debt, excuse me. Go get a master's degree after you've spent thousands of dollars on your bachelor's degree to still be stuck. It doesn't just, start at the bottom. It also goes to medium and the top. You got engineers quitting their jobs. You got nurses quitting their jobs. People are tired. People want results in a different way. And I feel for anybody out there who is in a situation where you feel like you really don't know what to do at your current job, fear is going to continue to hold you back from getting out here and figuring out what your purpose is in life. God brought us here for purpose. Everybody's not meant to quit their jobs, okay? But you have some people who they've had their season. You have seasons in life and you have evolutions in life. Once your season is done, it's done. Don't try to extend that season. Figure out for the next season what's meant for you. Try to discover more of who you are and what your purpose can give to the world, because we only get a chance at this life one time. And life is not going into a job, working 9 to 5, 3 to 11, 12-hour shifts, to be tired, exhausted. You got to wait to get vacation time. No one wants to do that anymore. So a lot of people are taking advantage of the new life opportunities that's out here to discover more of you, who you are. Why should you continue to be a slave for someone else's wealth when you can create your own? This is where I'm at in my own life. So I have already taken the steps to enroll myself back in school to finish my BA degree. And I want to inspire anybody out there, whatever it is that you need to do to push yourself forward in your own life and create a whole new direction for yourself. Every opportunity lies in front of you for you to do that. Nothing should stand in your way. And do not allow society to limit you to that and judge you based off of how you get there. As long as you're not killing and raping people and all that, we're good. But there are ways for you to make life happen for yourself. Know and believe that. We are in a whole different world. We're going into the 2021, 22, 23 decade of life, and life is constantly evolving. You got people making money off social media. You got these newer generation teenagers, making a living from TikTok. I haven't even gotten on TikTok yet because honestly, for me, especially being 40 years old, I have a different vision for myself. You know, like it's really hard trying to navigate all these social media apps as it is. So it's enough distraction. That's another video that I'll do about mental health and as time goes on. But I don't want to be long with it. I made my message. I hope that this video can get into somebody's mind about saying I quit. I'm finna do something different with my life. I'm finna take a chance. Do something that you are afraid of for the first time and see the result. I guarantee you, you won't regret it.